Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome everybody to our 2021 Read Across America Spirit Week STEM Night. Tonight we have a couple of great events taking place. The first one will be a great Readers Theater event, headlined by some of our great teachers and staff here at Lucom Elementary School. And then secondly, we will have a great STEM activity led by one of our magicians in Wilson County Schools, Mr. Josh Rollins and myself. One of my favorite quotes comes from an 1800s journalist named Margaret Fuller. Her quote was that today is a reader, tomorrow is a leader. So I just want to challenge all of our Cardinals to continue reading, to do your best as we finish up this school year, and I hope that you guys have a great evening and enjoy and learn some things.
Bartholomew and the Oobleck by Dr. Seuss. They still talk about it in the kingdom of Did as the year the king got angry with the sky. And they still talk about the page boy, Bartholomew Cubbins. If it hadn't been for Bartholomew Cubbins, that king and that sky would have wrecked that little kingdom. Bartholomew had seen the king get angry many, many times before. But that year, when His Majesty started growling at the sky, Bartholomew Cubbins just didn't know what to make of it. All spring, when the rain came down, he growled at that. All summer, when the sunshine came down, he growled at that. All autumn, when the fog came down, he growled at that. And that winter, when the snow came down, he started shouting.
This snow, this fog, this sunshine, this rain, these four things come down from my sky.
But King Derwin, you've always had these same four things come down.
That's just the trouble. Every year, the same four things. I'm mighty tired of those old things. I want something new to come down.
Something new to come down? That's impossible, Your Majesty. You just can't have it.
Boy, don't you dare tell me what I can or cannot have. Remember, Bartholomew, I am king.
I know, sire. You rule all the land and you rule all the people. But even kings can't rule the sky.
Can't, eh? Well, maybe other kings can't do it, but maybe I'm the one king who can. You mark my words, Bartholomew Cubbins. I will have something new come down.
But how to get something new to come down? That was rather hard to think up. And for many days, the old king stomped around trying to figure out some way to do it. Then, he suddenly stopped still. A strange, wild light began to shine in his gray-green eyes.
Why, of course. They can do it. Bartholomew Cubbins, blow my secret whistle quick. Call my royal magicians.
Your magicians? Oh no, Your Majesty. Don't call them.
You hold your tongue, Bartholomew Cubbins. You do as I command you. Blow my secret whistle.
Yes, sire. But Your Majesty, I think you may be very sorry.
He took the king's secret whistle from its secret hook. He blew a long, low blast down the king's back secret stairway. And a moment later, he heard them coming. Up from their musty hole beneath the dungeon, up the empty midnight tunnel to the royal bedchamber tower, came the magicians on their padded, shuffling feet. Right into the room, they came chanting.
Shuffle, duffle, muzzle, muff, fista, wista, Mr. Cuff. We are men of groans and howls, mystic men who eat boiled owls. Tell us what you wish, O king, our magic can do anything.
I wish to have you make something fall from my skies that no other kingdom has ever had before. What can you do? What will you make?
For a moment they stood thinking, blinking their creaky eyes. Then they spoke a word. One word.
Oobleck.
Oobleck? What will it look like?
Won't look like rain, won't look like snow, won't look like fog, that's all we know. We just can't tell you anymore. We've never made Oobleck before. We go now to our secret cave on Mystic Mountain, Nicotave. There all night long we'll work for you, and you'll have Oobleck when we're through.
They'll do something crazy. Call them back, Your Majesty. Stop them.
Stop them? Not for a ton of diamonds. By tomorrow, I'll have Oobleck.
It took Bartholomew a long time to get the excited king to sleep. There was no sleep for Bartholomew. All night long he stood in the king's window, staring out at the mystic mountain Nicotave. Somewhere up there, Bartholomew knew, the magicians were working their terrible magic. All night the magicians did. All night they walked circles round their magic fire, making magic mumbling with their clucking tongues.
Oh, snow and rain are not enough. Oh, we must make some brand new stuff. Make magic smoke green, thick and hot. It sure smells dreadful, does it not? Go, magic smoke, go high, go high. Go rise into the kingdom sky. Go make the wondrous Oobleck fall. Oh, bring down Oobleck on us all.
Wake up, Your Majesty. Your Oobleck is falling.
By my royal whiskers, it is! Oh, that beautiful Oobleck, it's mine. Oh, mine!
I don't like the looks of those blobs, sir. They're coming down now as big as greenish peanuts.
The bigger, the better! Oh, what a day. I'm gonna make it a holiday. I want every man and woman and child in my kingdom to go out and dance in my glorious Oobleck!
Out in that stuff? Do you really think it's safe, sir?
Stop asking foolish questions. Boy, you run to my royal bell tower. Wake up my royal bell ringer. Tell him to ring the great holiday bell.
For a moment, Bartholomew Cubbins didn't move.
Run!
Across the sleeping palace, Bartholomew ran, up the ladder of the high bell tower, climbing to the bell ringer's little cubbyhole in the belfry.
Ring your bell! His Majesty the King proclaims today a holiday. What's the holiday, Bartholomew? You'll find out soon enough. Huh? What's wrong with my bell? I'd better take a look outside. Merciful gracious! What is that? All over my bell like greenish molasses. Not only your bell, look at that poor robin down there in that tree. She's stuck to her nest. She can't move a wing. That Oobleck's gooey. It's gummy. It's like glue. Oh! If that green stuff sticks up robins, it'll stick up people too. Someone's got to warn the people, got to wake them up and warn them to stay inside their houses. I'll tell the royal trumpeter.
Up to the trumpeter's tower raced Bartholomew Cubbins, 4 stairs at a time. As he ran, he could hear the Oobleck on the window panes. It was pelting against the palace walls now, as big as greenish cupcakes. He yanked the covers off the snoring trumpeter. He shoved his cold trumpet right into his sleep.
Get up! Warn the people! Sound the alarm! Alarm? Those green things, Bartholomew, where'd they come from? The king, his royal magicians made them. That king of ours should be ashamed. I'll blow the loudest alarm that's ever been heard in the kingdom of Dead. My horn! One of those green things flew inside it. I'll get it somehow. I'll pull it out. No,
trumpeter's hand was already in it. He pulled with all his might. The oobleck began to stretch. Then the oobleck snapped back inside the trumpet.
I can't wiggle a finger. Oh, Bartholomew, what'll I do? I don't know. And I hate to leave you stuck to your horn, but if you can't warn the people of the kingdom, I gotta find somebody who can.
Out of the room and down the stairs raced Bartholomew Cubbins, down to the chamber of the captain of the guards. The captain was humming in front of his mirror, combing the ends of his handsome mustache.
Captain, do something!
Do something? Why? What's wrong?
Captain, haven't you seen the dreadful oobleck? It's coming down as big greenish baseballs.
Oh, that stuff? What's so dreadful about that, lad? You know, I think it's rather pretty.
Captain, it's dangerous!
Nonsense. Lad, you are trying to frighten me. Captains, my boy, are afraid of nothing. That stuff is harmless. I'll show you. I'll eat some.
Eat some? Oh, forgive me for leaving you, Captain, but a captain full of bubbles is no help at all. I'll get the king's horse. I'll ride through the country. I'll warn the people of the kingdom myself.
He pushed open the door that led out to the royal stables. He could go no farther. The awful oobleck was plumping down as big as greenish footballs now. Too late to warn the people of the kingdom. There were farmers in the fields getting stuck to hoes and plows. Goats were getting stuck to ducks. Geese were getting stuck to cows. There was nothing Bartholomew Cubbins could do out there. But inside, a moment later, it was just as bad as out. Like a sinking sailboat, the whole palace was springing leaks. The oobleck was ripping the windows right off their hinges. It was dripping through the ceilings. It was rolling down the chimneys. It was coming in everywhere, even through the keyholes. Everyone in the palace started rushing madly about. The royal cook rushed down to the royal kitchen. Bartholomew Cubbins saw him trapped there, stuck to 3 stew pots, a teacup, and a cat. The royal laundress rushed outside to save her laundry. Bartholomew saw her, stuck tight to the clothesline between 2 woolen stockings and the king's best Sunday blouse. He saw the royal fiddlers. They were stuck to their royal fiddles. Every last friend he had in the world was flopping and floundering, all hopelessly caught in the goo. Then suddenly, midst the hubbub, Bartholomew gasped. Where was the king? He'd forgotten all about him. It was in the throne room that Bartholomew found him. There he sat, old King Derwin, proud and mighty ruler of the kingdom of Did, trembling, shaking, helpless as a baby. His royal crown was stuck to his royal head. The seat of his royal pants were stuck to his royal throne. Oobleck was dripping from his royal eyebrows. It was oozing into his royal ears.
Fetch my magicians, Bartholomew! Make them say some magic words! Make them stop this oobleck from falling!
I can't fetch them, your majesty. Their cave on Mountain Nicotave is buried deep in Oobleck.
Then I must think of some magic words. What are those words? Shuffle, duffle, muzzle, muff. That's all I can remember, and they didn't do any good. The oobleck keeps falling harder.
And it's gonna keep on falling until your whole great marble palace tumbles down. So don't waste your time saying foolish magic words. You ought to be saying some plain simple words.
Simple words? What do you mean, boy?
I mean, this is all your fault. Now the least you can do is say the simple words, I'm sorry.
What? Me, I'm the king. Kings never say, I'm sorry. I am the mightiest king in the whole world.
You may be a mighty king, but you're sitting in Oobleck up to your chin, and so is everyone else in your land. And if you won't even say you're sorry, you're no sort of a king at all.
Bartholomew Cubbins turned his back and started for the throne room door.
Come back, Bartholomew Cubbins. You're right. It's all my fault, and I am sorry. Oh, Bartholomew, I'm awfully, awfully sorry.
And the moment the king spoke those words, something happened. Maybe there was something magic in those simple words, I'm sorry. Maybe there was something magic in those simple words, it's all my fault. Maybe there was and maybe there wasn't, but they say that as soon as the old king spoke them, the sun began to shine and fight its way through the storm. They say that the falling Oobleck blobs grew smaller and smaller and smaller. They say that all the Oobleck that was stuck on all the people and on all the animals in the kingdom of Did just simply, quietly melted away. And they say Bartholomew took the old king by the sleeve. He put the bell rope into his majesty's royal hands, and the king himself rang the holiday bell. Then the king proclaimed a brand new holiday in honor of the 4 perfect things that come down from the sky. The king now knew that these 4 old-fashioned things, the rain, the sunshine, the fog, and the snow, were good enough for any king in all the world, especially for him, old King Derwin of Did.
Good evening, everybody. This is Mr. Marks here, the principal at Lucama Elementary School. First off, I want to thank our wonderful Lucama Elementary staff, our teachers, who just did a wonderful rendition of Bartholomew and Oobleck. They did a great job on that. You know, we've got some Oscar awards coming up for some of our staff members. So we're going to get into tonight, or into now, is creating some Oobleck of our own. Obviously, in the book, the king didn't do a very good job bringing about Oobleck for his people. But tonight, we're going to make some Oobleck that can be extremely useful and helpful to all of our students and staff here at Lucama. I've actually enlisted the help of one of the royal magicians himself. His name is Mr. Josh Rollins. He's actually a Wilson County Schools employee as well, and he's going to help us create some Oobleck tonight that can be useful, unlike the Oobleck that was in the book. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Rollins now. Thank you.
Thanks for letting me come along. The king didn't do a very good job of asking for the right kind of Oobleck. He wanted something different. He was not happy with the sunshine and the rain and the snow and the fog, and he wanted something new and exciting in his life, and he didn't really think it through. But I think we can come up with a great way to use Oobleck in a positive manner. So if you're not familiar with what Oobleck is, it's going to be a non-Newtonian matter. It's not a liquid, it's not a solid, but sometimes it feels like a liquid, sometimes it feels like a solid. And it's made out of 2 simple ingredients. We're going to have cornstarch, which you guys should have received, and you'll need some water. We're going to do a 2-to-1 ratio of cornstarch to water. All right, so if you look here, Mr. Marks and I, we have about 1 cup full of cornstarch, and I've got a little more water than I need because I'll need about half of this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pour about half of this into our bowl in just a second and mix it up. And if we need a little more water, we can add more. And maybe if we need a little more cornstarch, we can add that as well. So if you've got your cornstarch in your water, we're going to get started. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do this. We're going to start by adding our cornstarch into a bowl. And cornstarch is really light and fluffy, and it makes a good mess. So have fun. Sorry, Mom and Dad. All right, and then we've got our cornstarch in here, and we're gonna add our water. Now you're gonna have to eyeball this, but you're gonna need about half as much water as you have cornstarch. So we're gonna pour a little bit of this in. And notice I'm gonna leave a little extra just in case I didn't need it all. So you can take a spoon, or if you wanna use your hands, you can just take this and mix it up. And you're gonna kind of feel it resist a little bit. But we want to make sure the water and the cornstarch get mixed up real well. So, you know what? I'm going to abandon the spoon. I'm just going to dive right in. So, mix it up. Make sure you make a big mess, but make sure you clean it up afterwards. And you can kind of feel that non-Newtonian liquid, not solid. It kind of squeezes together when you put some pressure on it. And I think I've got too much water already.
I had not enough.
Just a little bit more cornstarch. And this is the fun of science and STEM activities is it doesn't matter if you do it right or wrong as long as you keep working at it until you get it right. So we're gonna add a little bit more cornstarch. How's your consistency coming there?
It's like it's pretty thick right there.
Yeah, it's pretty good there. All right. So you want it to still be kind of runny. And here's the neat thing about it, like it runs around the bowl like it's a liquid, right? It just goes back and forth real smooth. Then when you try to grab it, it feels like a solid and it'll break up a little bit. So when you feel like you got your mixture just right, I'm gonna add just a little more water. We're gonna be ready to move to the next part of our activity. Okay. So what we wanna do with this is this stuff, if you feel it with your fingers, it feels really nice and soft and squishy and it makes a big mess. So, and sometimes it gets stuck to your fingers, so you notice it's all over your hands. We're gonna try to clean that off a little bit. But next we're gonna take some paper here and we're gonna make a funnel because what we wanna do is we wanna take our oobleck and we wanna pour it into this balloon.
So we're gonna start with a sheet of paper and roll it up like a funnel pretty much?
Yeah, that's right. And we've got two options here. You can take a whole piece of paper and fold it around like in a funnel, or you can fold the paper in half. We recommend getting some tape or something to hold it. If you have tape, you can do painter's tape, regular tape, whatever tape you have for wrapping birthday gifts, anything that'll hold it. If you don't have tape, you'll just have to be a little careful and hold it together. So I'm just gonna take this paper and kind of fold it up in a funnel shape. There is no right way or wrong way to do this, but basically what you want is a narrow end and a wide end. And you want your narrow end to be skinny enough, Smart's doing a much better job than I am, to go into the tip of the balloon. Okay. And I'm gonna use one of my pre-made ones.
I think I'll use the other one.
All right. So you'll take this and just kind of work it over the tip of the balloon. Or work it into the tip of the balloon. You want to kind of look into the funnel, make sure you got an opening down there. Can you see through yours?
I think so. I picked the right funnel.
You got to give the principal the best materials. Go ahead, Mr. Marks, with yours. If you want to just dump yours right in there, and I'll keep playing with mine until we get it right. I might just borrow your funnel in a minute. So it looks like folding paper in half is the best way to go with this. So you got a little bit in there?
Yeah.
So now you'll want to take and tie your balloon down as tight as you can to make that a compact shape. What do you think? How's it feel?
That's kind of like you said, it's part solid, part liquid at the same time, depending on what part of the oobleck you touch, for
That's
sure.
right. When you start putting pressure on it, it kind of solidifies, but when you keep squeezing, it kind of breaks apart. And so what we've done here is, besides make a big mess, we've made what some people call a stress ball, or we'll call this a squeeze ball. But this is a fun thing that if you're sitting there thinking about your spelling words, or thinking about your multiplication tables, or thinking about your homework assignment, maybe you can just grab this and work this in your hands, and it feels a little bit nice, help you relax a little bit, help you to stay focused. And this is a much better application of Oobleck than what the king and Bartholomew and the Oobleck had in his plan.
I think maybe if the king had had something like this before he started making his wishes and ideas, and he might have saved the whole place a whole lot of trouble at the end. So,
That's
yeah,
right.
absolutely.
And if you look at the mess on the table we've got here, just imagine this all over the kingdom. I can't imagine this kind of mess going all over. So anyway, we hope you enjoyed the activity. Parents, we apologize for any mess you have to clean up, but we do encourage your kids to, this is a fun, simple activity that you can, a little bit of cornstarch, a little bit of water in a bowl, and you've got a nice mess, but a fun science activity that you can talk about with your kids, and you can do this anytime you want. And balloons are fairly inexpensive, so if this one breaks, you can just make another one. So
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight to our Read Across America Week event this Tuesday night. I want to thank Mr. Rollins here, the magical magician, for his help in setting this up, and I want to thank all of our kids for coming out as well. So hope that everybody has a great evening. Thank you. Good night.